Hi, welcome to the webinar. My name is Brian, and we are here for Transaction Desk with Authentisign. Now, I've got my member dashboard up here. You'll see on the webinar screen my member dashboard, and there's Matrix on the top left as always. Transaction Desk is under MLS Products and Resources, and you'll see it right there. It's got that wolf howling. The company that owns it is Lone Wolf. By the way, Lone Wolf also owns Zip Forms. So both of those transaction management products are Lone Wolf, same company. Now, this is a transaction management system. I'm leaving it over there. You can see the little box up there, the little explanation up there. It's a full transaction management system. The idea here is that you can do your entire transaction. You put in your contacts, you put in the property, you fill out all the forms and whatnot, and send them out to be electronically signed. You can do an entire transaction without generating a single piece of paper. Of course, somebody's going to want a piece of paper, but theoretically, you could do it without any paper. Also, it's a lot easier to save everything for the required 7 years because it'll be in the cloud, accessible from any computer you happen to be on, and you can pull stuff down and review things at any time. So that's a nice little extra feature there. Now, you'll notice that on my screen, directly below Transaction Desk is Authentisign. Authentisign is also, again, under MLS Products and Resources. That is the email signature component of Transaction Desk. That's a part of Transaction Desk. What we did, we pulled it out and made it a separate link because some people just have a document already. You've got something that is from your company or from your team or something like that, and it's not part of Transaction Desk. It's not in there. So you've got that filled out already, and you just want to send it out for an electronic signature. You don't need to go through an entire transaction for it. Well, then you'd click on Authentisign. It'll take you directly into electronic signing, and you can send it out directly with no other, nothing else that you need to do. So that's a little courtesy, a little convenience for our members. Back up to Transaction Desk. I'll click on it. By the way, you're going to see me look over to my right once in a while. I'm checking out my control panel here, my dashboard, my webinar dashboard. I'm not reading my emails. So here. All right. So here is the agent dashboard for Transaction Desk. And again, this says agent dashboard. If you're a broker, you have a slightly different version of Transaction Desk. You have more features. You have more capabilities. And when you log in, it'll automatically say broker dashboard. You'll have that. And you'll have some extra stuff you can do. I'll mention a couple of those things later. But this is the agent version, the more common version that I'm going to be going through now. First off, you'll notice that there are little boxes here. I keep saying first off and over and over. There's little boxes here, widgets, much like in Matrix. They're the same type of thing. Now, if you go to the upper right and you click on this little padlock icon, you unlock these widgets. And now you can move them around. So you can just drag them and move them exactly as you would in Matrix. Also, you can add more. Let's say you want to add, we've had contacts and uploading emails, documents, transactions. We have all those things. Let's say that you want to add something from Authentisign. You just go up here, hold down your left mouse button and drag it down, let go, and you've added it. You want to remove it, click the little X on the upper right, much like Matrix, and it's gone. And then once you have this laid out the way you want it, click the little padlock, and it's locked in. You won't accidentally move things like you can in Matrix, right? Accidentally delete something or move it or shrink it or something like that. It's locked. So now, from the dashboard, if you look to the left, in the upper left, if you look to the left, you have a menu right here, and they're all icons. Well, you don't know what those icons mean yet, so what you do is click this little hamburger button on the upper left, 3 stripes, hamburger, haha. But that's really what it's called. You click that, and now you have the actual description of it, the actual title of these things. It's a little easier at first for you to see what the words are, the name of these things are, rather than trying to memorize the icons. Now I'm going to run down these pretty quick, this menu on the left. I'm going to run down it pretty quick, and then I'm going to start clicking on a few things after that point. I just want to give you an overview right off the bat. So first you have transactions, and that's where you're going to get them listed. Now, you can see on this agent dashboard right here, there's transactions over here, and I only have one, for training purposes, but you'll have a bunch. And you try to look at all of them under this widget, it's eventually going to be too many, right? So it's good to have this button over here on the menu. You can view a screen of your transactions. Yeah, signings, that goes directly into Authentisign, straight into it for electronic signature. Documents, that's also known as a doc box. That is where you will upload, import documents from outside of Transaction Desk. You see forms, that's a forms library. That's going to be all the forms that are native that are within Transaction Desk. But if you've got something like I talked about before, a document from your company or your office or team or something that you have filled out and you want to get it signed, you would upload it. You could upload it into this document folder here. It holds other things too, but that's the main part. Tasks, it's just a task manager, scheduler. I don't touch that at all in any classes, but it's pretty common. They all work pretty much the same way. Contacts, you can import contacts or enter them. Now, you can only import contacts from Google. Not like Outlook or something. But if you're using a Google product for your address book, then you can import your contacts from there. Otherwise, you'll have to type them in. And it's up to you. You can type them in up front, first, get them all entered in there, or you can do it on the fly. As you're creating a transaction, you can add a contact at that point. Your choice. Partners, that's companies that are not part of Transaction Desk or Lone Wolf, nor the MLS. They're separate companies, but they have products that might be of interest to you, very good for you, and a lot of them do interact. They integrate with Transaction Desk, so they have those listed there. Settings, I'm definitely going to go through that. Settings is where you would do your preliminary setup, and I strongly recommend that before you try to use Transaction Desk at all, that you go into settings and set it up for yourself. Just like Matrix, you shouldn't do anything with Matrix until you get into the settings and set yourself up. Help, I'm going to click on that now. Well, actually, log out, don't bother logging out. There's no need. You have the dashboard, so you can just, when you're done with this, you just go up here and you close the tab, and then you're over on the member dashboard tab, and that's where you would log out typically. Log out from the member dashboard, not from the individual program. It's not a big deal if you log out here, but it's just not necessary. Help, I'm going to click on that. I'm going to click from the bottom up now. All right, so here you'll see there's the phone number. You don't have to Google it. It's right there on top. And there's the email 24/7. They have chat, live chat, as we do. They have live webinars, as we do, like this one, and feedback and guides. They have printed matter and materials, rather, and they're very good. So you have a lot of printed material that you can look at, little guides and pamphlets and so on. And there's help videos. There's well over 100 videos on Transaction Desk. So you can pretty much go through the whole program bit by bit with those videos. And pre-recorded webinars like we have. Okay, they have the same thing. So they have extensive help for you and extensive training that they can provide for you as well. I have to click on the hamburger button again. Every time you click on one of these, it'll roll over, it'll roll up. Settings, I'm going to click settings. And as I said, this is something you should do right away. Now, there's no time to go through all of these settings. That would be quite a big chunk of the class to go through everything. But I'll go through some of the most important ones for you. So coming up here right at the very top, you have preferences. And check your user information. Now, this comes in from your account. So Transaction Desk will pull this in from your MLS account. If there's anything wrong here, then understand that it must be wrong in your account too. But you can fix it here separately. You can edit this and change things, and you can add things that are missing, your cell phone perhaps, that kind of thing. Specify cell, things like that. And once you get this all done, you hit update, of course, and you move on to office information. Now, if you're not the broker, you can't fix this, but it's a good idea to look at it and make sure that everything is okay. If it's not, then report it to your broker. Email signature. This is where you'll put it in. So you'd put in your name and things like that in here. No pictures or fancy fonts or any of that. Very simple, plain text, but put in what you need here. Branding. Starting off, you have a like a little, if you're using faxes at all, you have a fax back cover sheet and an email banner. So a little banner for your emails. And you can insert that. Now it should be 800 pixels, right? Width of 800 pixels. It should be 800 by 125. You'd have to create this outside of Transaction Desk, make this banner, and upload it into here. Personal photo. Here we have a preferred size of 120 by 145. Okay, so you upload that, and there's your photo. Now that you've uploaded your photo, it will go into the email signature automatically. So you don't have to worry about a photo in your email signature. This one's going to go in there. And your banner would be on top of those emails if you put one in. And then here's a company logo. This will appear here and there throughout. It's the little square one, the 150 by 150. Your company should have one. They're very common. If you don't have it, check with your broker or your marketing department or something like that, and they should have this for you. So now, once you've got the preferences, the next thing you can do, well, you can do any of these, of course, but the next thing I'll show you is this checklist manager. And here I have a checklist already made. I'll open it up. And you can see how to do it. You give it a name, you give it a description, and you go down to checklist items and you add a new one. You just hit add and you type it out. There's nothing to import. You type it out and put it in. Now, how many times have you ever done something with a listing, be you a buyer or seller agent or list agent, either way, and you forgot to do something? Oh, I forgot the street sign or something like that. You overlook something. Well, if you have a checklist, a very nice complete checklist, you won't forget anything. You can go through it and check things off as you go through. By the way, brokers, you can create checklists. You can have more than one. This one I made for residential sale listings. You can have them made for any kind of listing at all, any property type. But brokers, you can create a checklist and make it available to all the agents in your office so everybody will have the same checklist. And you know that they all have the same thing and it's all going to work. Once you've got the checklist done, then you can go down to transaction templates. And these are great. There's a few of them here. Photo agreement templates here. But I'm going to go down to my residential single family that I created. And again, I've already got it done, but you can see what to do. Type it in here. Here you can select the type of, and there's your property types. So you can select one of these. What is this template for? And mine is for a residential sale, and I'm calling it residential single family. And then there's a description. Now below that, what do you want to put in this template? Well, I'm going to add checklists. I've got my checklist. Oops, I hit the plus sign. See that? I hit the plus sign, and it's going to bring up a list of my checklists to add. I've already got it in here. Okay, so there it is. Now, with the template, when I create a transaction, I specify this template using this template, and I will automatically get my checklist. Bang, it's right into my transaction. Contacts. I can add a contact if I want to. I didn't bother, but if there are, this is universal. Remember, don't think this is any particular listing. It's not. It's for all of your residential listings. If there are services that you have contacts that you use for most of your listings, attorneys, inspectors, anything like that, then add them to the contacts and they'll automatically be added to the transaction. Okay, so anybody you put in here will be in the template added to any residential transaction you do. And I say residential because, again, I made it for residential. And then documents and folders. Now, what's this all about? Well, documents and folders. There's a document. Why and here's forms, right? So look at this. I've got all these forms that I've added to the template, and I've got these documents. What's going on? What's the difference? I'm going to jump back to the dashboard for a moment. And look up here, or up here you have documents, and here you have forms. A form is from the library. It's from the transaction desk library. It's already done for you. It's ready to fill out. All the little fill outs, they're ready to go. You just type into it, bang. The signature blocks are already entered. They're already in there. You just specify who's going to be signing it, and that's it. They're set to go. Okay, fill in the information, specify who's signing it, email it out, and that's it. That's a form. But a document is something I was talking about before, that you're importing it. It's from outside of transaction desk, right? And you want to add it to your transactions, maybe send it out for signature. It's not ready to be filled out. It doesn't have it. Even if it was a fillable form from whatever other program you got it from, it's not going to be fillable in here. So you have to customize it a bit. And we're going to show you that later on. I'll show you that. But just understand that typically throughout Transaction Desk, a document is imported from outside and a form is from the Transaction Desk library. I'll go back down to program settings here, and I'll go back into the transaction template. So now you can see the difference between these things. All right, checklist, contacts. Here's the documents. I imported a document, uploaded it, warranty PDF. And then here's the forms. I got these forms out of the Transaction Desk library. So all I have to do is hit plus, add forms, and pick which library I want to go into and pull in a form from there. Down here, you have teams and sharing. Okay, if you're on a team or if you have a partner or something like that, you can add them to this template. So they'll automatically be added to your listings. Okay. Now, before you do this, we go back here and you'll see down here, here's teams and sharing. So before you add somebody, a team or a partner to the transaction templates, you go to teams and sharing and you add the team right here. You add them here. Okay. And then once you add them here, they'll be ready to put into your template. All right. So there's your template. It seems like a lot of work, but I'll tell you, you fill this thing out once and that's it. You go through you enter a new transaction for a new listing. You've already got your checklist. Boom. You've already got some contacts. You've already got your forms and documents. Boom. You don't have to go out looking for things and pulling things in and all that. It's all going to be loaded right into your transaction. Back up to the hamburger button. I'm not going to belabor any of this, but here's the partners. So you can go through these. Oh, by the way, there's Red Spree. They are associated. We do use their service. We do have it. So there's Rent Spree, but there's others here. And you can check these and see if they're of interest to you as Cloud CMA. So here's a few that you might want to look at. It could be useful to you. And here's your contacts. So here's my contacts. I've got a buyer already I put in there and an attorney and so on. And I can just hit the little plus and add more. Now, when I hit that little plus to add more, notice it says add contact from Google. I can import if I want to, or create a contact manually. Tasks, documents, here's the doc box, and here's my inbox folder. I just put it right in there. I uploaded it and put warranty PDF right into there. I could have some other folders. I might create subfolders, maybe documents just for residential, or documents for this, or documents for that. So I could do that. Shared documents, again, a team or a partner, I can put a document in here and it will automatically be visible, be shared amongst my other team members or partner. And then the transaction folder, when you have a document for a transaction, it'll go into that. Whenever you create a transaction, it'll automatically create a folder in here, and you're ready to put things in there. And here's the forms library. You can see, saw this a little bit before. CTR, want to mention something about CTR. If you are not a member of CTR, you will not see the CTR forms library. It will not be there. You have to be a member of CTR to get the CTR forms. That's the Connecticut Real Estate Association. Okay. And then here's our forms, contracts, inputs, here's our contract forms. Might recognize them. You can search for a form up here, make it easier on yourself. And then back to transactions. Right here, transactions. I'm going to add a transaction. We're going to go through doing it. So I'm going to hit add. I'm going to give it a name. Normally, I suggest that you name it for the address. So here it is. Google is kind enough to save these things that I use, right? So I'll take advantage of that. I use the same address every class. Template, here it is. And I've got my residential single family template. Import data. This is optional. I can fill out all the forms from scratch, or I can import data from the tax records or from a previous listing. Doesn't have to be mine. It can be anybody's listing ever. I can import data from that. Be careful when you do this, because it's going to import the some other information, the expiration date, the listing date, the price, all that stuff from that previous listing. So you got to be very careful to change or remove some of it. I'm going to use the tax records. I don't know the parcel number. That's internal to Matrix. It's not on my field card or anything, so I don't have it. It's no problem. I look it up, tax search. And I'll put in the street number. I'm not putting in the whole thing, so I'm not going to use Google there. Street name. And that's in Ridgefield. And you'll see this is highlighted now. It's ready to go. Just click that. There it is. That's correct. It's good. So I'll select it here, and I hit select. And there I am. There's the parcel number. Now it says add me as the selling agent. No, I'm the listing agent. Now in this program, in Transaction Desk, the selling agent means the buyer representative, the sales agent. The listing agent is, of course, listing the property. So I'm going to select myself as that. And I'm going to use the wizard. I suggest you always use the wizard, even when you become an expert. It's just so much faster and easier to zip through it using that. You'll see. Here's create. Hit that create button. So here I am. I'm in the wizard. I'm on step 1 of 5. And I fill in any information I have. You don't have to fill in anything really at all right now. But the more that you can fill in now, the more that will automatically pre-fill your forms. And that's the beauty of this, is that when everything that's in here pre-fills on all of the forms. If you make a mistake, for example, you put in the wrong price, you don't have to fix it on each individual form. You simply go in here, you fix the price here, and that price change, that fix, propagates out to all the forms in one shot. So it's much nicer. That's a big time saver. You don't have to retype things over and over. So I'm going to put in a list price. So I'm going to say, I'll put that. Again, anything you know, put it in. And then we go next. Dates, if you know any dates, put them in. I'm just going to put in the expiration date for at least to show you. We're into July 21st, so I'm going to go. I'll go out 6 months, and I'll go, wow. And I'll go to, that's hurtful. And I'll go to 21st there. I'll do that. And whatever else. And go next. Now here's contacts that are automatically added. I'm the listing agent, so it automatically added me. And my listing broker is here. They're automatically there. I can leave them there. If I don't have them on any forms or anything like that, it won't hurt. So I'm going to add another one. Where's my seller? I'm going to add, I can create that seller now on the fly, or I can add one that's already existing. And let's see, where'd she go? There she is. There's my seller. Check her name and click add. Gives me a chance to make any fixes, or I can add something missing, change something that's wrong if I need to. It's okay, I'll hit save. And there she is. And then I can add anybody else. Next, here's the forms. So if I need to add a form, I can. If I want to, I can delete a form if I'm not going to use it. Okay. You'll probably wind up with more forms than this, of course, but again, delete one you're not going to use, but you don't have to do that. It won't hurt to just simply leave it there. It won't hurt a thing. You don't have to fill them out here either, by the way. I'll go next. And here's documents. My document is already loaded. Remember, it was in the template, so it's already loaded. My forms, my documents, look at how much time I've already saved. So already loaded. I could add another one if I wanted to. Now I'm done. I'm all set. So I click done. And I've started my transaction. I have created a transaction. Now, what I'm going to want to do is fill out the forms. So I'd come over here and I would pick the form that I want to fill out. Now you can fill out a form, save that, save it, go to the next one, fill it out, save it, and so on. I can go through all the forms, fill them out, and then send them all out for a signature in one shot, one batch. Or I can do each one individually, fill it out, send it out for signature, send each one out. It depends on what your client wants. Would your client want to get all of the forms in one shot and go through all of them, or would your client rather have each one individually sent to them and they can do it? You'd have to work that out with them. Now, before I fill out any of these forms, I want to show you something. I'm going to come over here and click on Transaction Desk. I want to do this now before I start messing with the forms, because as I said, you can fill out all the forms and then send them out for email, or do each one and send them out for email. But in any case, it's going to be Transaction Desk that does that emailing. So I'm going to click on this. Now you see here, there's nothing. It's empty, none found. I could actually, if I wanted to, I could add right here. I could click Create Authentisign. I can start a new signing right from here. And if I do that, that's exactly where you go when you click Authentisign in our member dashboard. It will take you straight into it, create a new one, and off you go. All right, now notice that there's no signings here. If we go to the transaction dashboard here, you'll see that I do have a transaction that I was working on previously, right? So it indicates that there's no signings for that one. I've never done anything, but I have. Now, I go back to this. I did that transaction prior to the 20th, prior to July 20th. So it was using the old Authentisign. Authentisign has been revised. It's new. We're on Authentisign 2.0. But that one was done with Authentisign 1.0. Notice that this says new. I'm looking at Authentisign 2.0. No, that one was the classic one. I'll click that. There they are. Just remember, if you've already done some signings, if you've already done some of this work, and you're not just seeing this for the first time, then that's how you're going to have to view your previous signings, is to go to Classic. Because again, it all changed on the 20th. So now you're going to have these two tabs. I want to show you that so you don't panic when you open up Authentisign. You've got no signings, but you know you should have 50 of them. So here it is. And I'll explain some of this later, but now you understand that. So we'll go back to the transaction. By the way, if you're confused about anything, please type something in that chat panel and ask me. 49 Laurel Lane. I'm going to open this one up again. So here we are, and here's the forms. Now, I want to start with a input form, and there's a reason for that. There's a feature in Transaction Desk that's not available with any other transaction management system at all. And it's pretty cool. And it regards inputting a listing. You can actually create a new listing in Matrix from Transaction Desk with a single click, thus eliminating double entry. And I want to demonstrate that to you. So I'm going to click on the input form. You probably wouldn't start with that. Maybe you would. I don't know how you do it, but for this class, that's where I'm going to go. All right. So now the form opens up. And you'll see here's our residential for sale data input. And you'll notice there's the property number right there. And there's the expiration date that I had entered, remember? And the price that I had entered. So as you see, everything that I entered in that details there when I was going through the wizard is on this form. And it's on all the other forms as well. So as I said, I need to change a price, for example. All I have to do, I don't touch it here, don't bother. I go back to the transaction, and I go into the price, and I change it, and it propagates out to all the forms. Okay. Now, not everything imported. It's odd, but not everything imported from the taxes. You'll notice here there's tax information. None of this imported. You'd think it would, right? Some of this other stuff, estimated above grade square foot. That should be in the tax records. It's not here. And some other odds and ends. Style isn't here. It's not checked. Construction, foundation, roof. None of this stuff is checked. So obviously not everything imported. Some things did, some things didn't. Well, I want to get more imported rather than to sit there and type it. So what you do, go up to File and go down, 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 down to Import Data and click that. Now it says listing ID, but I imported from the tax records, so that's what I want. Oh gosh, I would have to put in the parcel number, right? Well, there it is right there. I don't have to do a search because I can see it right there, so I can just put it in. And in my particular case, Google was kind enough, again, to save it for me, so all I got to do is click it. But in your case, you can look down here and just copy it. And then I hit import. Now, don't fill out the form at all before you do this. If you enter any information into the form and then click this import, it'll erase whatever you typed in here, and you'd have to do it again. So now let's see, what did it do? Yes, well, there's the tax information now. Now it filled in, right? And there's the above grade. Oh, and here's the style, okay? And there's the roof. Still not quite everything filled in. Probably 90% of what's in the tax record came in. So you're a lot better off. Remember, the tax records don't have a lot of this stuff. And some tax records have more than others. Now, I'm going to fill out a little bit more just to show you how some of this works. So I'm going to make this a gated community, don't I wish? Home warranty, yes, because after all, we got that. Full service, exclusive right to sell. I'm going to check these things. I'm not going to check too much. I'm just going to check a few things. Not a short sale, right? Just a few things just to kind of show you. I'll check off the construction, siding. There's wood. I can fill in more than one. See, it says 3 max, right? Right there, 3 max. And exterior features. Okay. I'll say patio, some things like that. So there's a few things here that I fill in. Now, what you would do is go through the whole thing, fill in everything you possibly can, right? Fill this thing out as much as possible. If you could sit down with the seller and go through it together and fill everything in, that would be great. However you want to do it, but just fill it out. Now that it's filled out, I recommend personally that you go to File and go to Save and just simply hit Save. And there it is, it's saved. I like doing that in case something goes wrong. So now on the upper right, you'll see you have these two choices. You've got Authentisign, the little pen icon, and you've got Upload Listing. Now it's up to you if you want to send this out for a signature, right? You want to send it out for a signature before you do the listing, that's fine. Have the seller rather look over it, check it out, and then upload it. That's up to you. I'm going to do the upload listing first. I'm going to enter it first, just so I can demonstrate it. Oh, tax year. Hold on, close. Aha. Let me get down here. Where'd I go? Tax information right in front of me. Oh, look at this. See the asterisk? I have to fill that out. Yet for some reason it did not import. I don't know why. And I got that error message. So in order for me to do this, I have to fill in some of this stuff. Now, there's some things that have the asterisk, and it lets me get away without it. The asterisk generally indicates that that is a required field in Matrix. You need to put that in order to activate the listing. In this case, it wants me to do the tax year as well. So let's see, what are we looking at? All right, this is the only one available here. I'm going to put that in. And that's probably right, after all. They probably haven't updated it yet, but I'll put that in. And then I'll come up here and I'll hit upload listing. That one click. And here you see, your listing has been uploaded to Matrix. Might be a little dull for you to read here while it's working, but it's been uploaded and it assigned a listing number. Now it's clear. So there's the listing number that's already been assigned. So now I close this. I'll go back to the member dashboard and I'll open Matrix. And I'll go up here to add edit, select the listing. There it is. So there's the listing done by transaction desk. I click single family for sale. Notice it's already incomplete. Contract, there's the gated community that I did, parcel number, there's the expiration date I put in, price, home warranty. All this information is loaded into my listing. So again, as you can see, everything that I filled in on that form is now in my listing, eliminating double entry. So you can imagine how much time you're going to save. If any of you have entered a listing before, created a listing, you can see how much time I've just saved on this. All right. So I'm going to leave this and back to here. Now I'm done with this one. I'm all set. So I can do whatever. I can hit save and exit if I want to. Nothing that I really need to save. But if I hit save and exit, it'll take me back where I was. I can also go back where I was by hitting transactions. All right. I'll hit save and exit. Doesn't hurt. And I'm back to here, just as if I hit transactions. And I can go on to the next one and the next one. Okay. What I also could do, go on to the next one and the next one, fill them out, and then have them all done and ready to go. And then I can do them all in one shot. I can go into Authentisign and add them into it and send them all out at once. Here's another thing I can do. I'm going to go back to that input form. And I'm going to click the Authentisign, the little pen up here. There we go. Now it asks me, do I want the classic one or the new one? Well, the new one is launched yesterday. They still allow you to use the classic one if you want to, but I would strongly recommend that you use the new one because eventually that one's going to go away. So let's just get on with the new one here. So I'm going to click Authentisign 2.0. And here it is. Now up here, that's what's going to be in the subject line. That's the name of the signing. and it added the particular form that I'm sending. I can change that if I want to. All right. If I'm going to add other forms, I could do something, single family for sale and leave it at that. I could put some little, like a little dash and say like all forms, anything, specify anything I want, whatever I want to put in the subject line, which would also be the name of the transaction. All right, now we come over here and I'm on signers, right? So here's signers. I've already got this form uploaded. Now, it's up to me. I can add the signers now, or if I want to, I can look at the docs here. And this is the only one I've got because that's the one I was looking at, remember. If I had done all of them, then they'd all be listed here. But before I do anything with signers or any of that, I want to add the other one that I want to include in this. So I'm going to add a document or form. I want to add another one. And here, if I wanted to, I could add all of them. So I could also add them all right here. Remember, I put all forms as a title up here. I put all forms. I could do that. But I'm just going to add the warranty. Okay, so I've added that. There we go. I can upload something from outside right now. It wasn't originally part of the transaction. I can go to my files and look for something else not originally part of the transaction, upload them then. So I've got these two forms now. Good, I'm all set with that. Now I'm going to go back to signers. And it's up to you if you want to do it this way or not. You can do it any old way you want. Now I'm on the signers. There's no signers in there yet. Okay, it doesn't automatically put all of your contacts into the signing. You have to pick which particular contacts are going to be involved in this signature, this signing. Signing order. Okay, set signing order. You can, if you want to, have this go out with one person sign. Let's say it's 3 people. You assign who's number 1. Number 1 signs it, then number 2 gets it and signs it, then number 3 gets it. So it goes out to one person at a time in the order that you specify. If you don't set the signing order, it's sent out to everyone at once, and it doesn't matter who signs it first or second or what. It makes no difference. I'm going to leave it like that. Now I'm going to add my participants. I'm already in there. I don't need a new person who's not already in Transaction Desk. I'm going to add from the transaction itself. And here they are. So I'm in there. And there's my seller. And I'm going to leave it at that. Now, when I click Add Participants, of course, I can bring them in from the contacts from Google, anything like that. Now, there's another button here. It says Map Signers. What's that? I'm going to click that. So here's the Map Signers. So listing agent, right? Here's my listing agent. I can ignore the listing agent if I want. Oh, assign signature blocks. If I want to save any of this, if I want to do anything, just ignoring them, I can leave that alone. All right. But here's the type. It's a remote signer. Okay, remote signer. That's good. Remote signer. That's good. But it's possible that you might have someone who's a reviewer. Now, a reviewer could be like the broker, for example, if you wanted to add the broker into here and make them a reviewer. The broker would be able to look over everything first before you even sign it if you want. They could look over everything and okay it all, and then out it goes for signing. I've heard of people sending it out for signing, and the reviewer looks over everything, signatures and all. I don't know. It could go either way. And then CC is carbon copy. That would be someone like an admin or something like that. And when it's signed, when our documents are fully signed, completely signed, then it goes to that person and they can store it. They can maybe print out a copy or something like that, do some kind of administrative work with it. But we're all remote signers, so we're all pretty good. We've got it. And we're already checked. So now I can go down to the docs. And again, I could upload a doc if I wanted to now. Wanted to do that. And also, I can change the order. What if I want them to do the warranty first? I can drag it up and put the warranty first. Should I want to do that? You can rearrange them. And I can add another one now, too. Now I go to Tools. And here we have signer actions, right? So, hold on a second. Silly me. Silly me. I forgot to hit the select button. There we go. I missed that. Okay. So I hit the select button. Now we've got the signers in here, the participants. And you'll notice that they're color-coded. So I'm yellow, the listing agent, and my seller is blue. So it's real easy to see. And now, of course, when I hit map signers, listing agent 1, that's me. I could flip us around a little bit if I wanted to, or ignore, and I wouldn't get anything. And then sell my house, flip around. Seller 2, there's no seller 2, so we leave that on ignore. I can assign signature blocks. Don't need to do that right now because they've already got a signature blocks on this form. And I'm going to be doing the warranty separately in a few moments. So now I've got that. Now I go down to Tools. And I can add signatures. See, here's for me. Now, anything I do here would be for me, but no, I want it to be for the seller. So I can add text lines. I can add check boxes. I can add I can have her add signature blocks and so on. And that's what I'm going to do. Now, if I want to move around, I can go to Docs, and I can go to the warranty, open the warranty, or rather open this, and document name. I could replace it, remove it, apply a layout. I'll explain that later. I could add a checklist item to it if I wanted to. I can shuffle the pages around, all of that. Okay. I neglected to show you that earlier. Forgive me. So there's the docs. We go back to signers. Now I'm going to go down to the warranty. I'm going to show you something there. I'm going to scroll down to it. Now here's the signature blocks, by the way. They're already there. Remember I said I don't have to do that before? Well, they're already there. So I've already got the signature blocks and the dates. That's because it's a form. It's part of transaction desk. All that stuff is already in there. But here's the warranty. It's not in there. So now I'm going to want to do something with this. So I'm going to hit Tools, and it's her. And I want to insert a text line. I want her to fill something out. Now I know this says buyers. I'm just using it for an example. Bring it over there, click on it, and I can make it a little longer. I can remove it, okay? And I could add another one, down here to have her fill out. All right, so you can do this, fill these things out. I can go down to the end, and this is the reason I use this warranty one, because it's got a nice big blank space at the end, easy to see. Sign here. And you'll notice there's a date there already, right? It's a little close. Let me drag it away. There we go. So now it's away. So now there's her signature. It'll automatically date it when she signs it. Now, I'm looking at that. I'm kind of thinking, I want to have her name. See this full name? I drag that over and I put that under. There's her name. So now it shows that. So I've got her name under there. It kind of indicates. I could put myself on here too. I can add myself if I wanted to. Move that away a bit. And then put my name under it. There we are. Now I can go back to here again, go to her. See, I can go back and forth. And I can add her email address. I can add an auto date, and these are already auto dated. But if there was something that I wanted her to date, or that I wanted to have a date showing on it, I could add that. That would automatically fill in. And I can add a text box, okay, where I can highlight stuff. So for example, I can take the highlight, click that, see it activated, it's there, and I can highlight this, right? And I can do a line, I can do a strike through, so I can underline something if I want to. Make it a little straighter than that. And so on, strike throughs and such. So I can do all of these things on here. Now I've got them done, and there's other options. Okay, so I can open up signing details. So for example, expiration dates. I can set up an expiration date for the signing. If they don't sign it by a certain time, it will cancel, will be canceled out. If I want to do that, oh, and there's reminders. I can send out reminders if I want to. Send out a reminder 2 days from now, hey, you didn't sign it. I can change the position. The Authentisign ID, by law, it has to have that. It has to show that this is an Authentisign document. Put that wherever I want, top, left, right. And I'm not going to do a product tour. That's actually not available just yet. I can clear everything. I can clear this whole thing out and start over again from scratch if I wanted this. Clear signing fields. So, and then feedback if you want. So here we are. I'm pretty much set now, and I hit next. I'm going to finalize it. I can customize it. I can add text to the body of the message. I can add text to the subject line as well if I want to, but I'm just going to send it. Now, something that I need to do here, hold on. This can take 10 minutes, excuse me. This can take 10 minutes or more to arrive. So I might not be able to show you what it looks like to her. Might not be able to do it. Bear with me a second here. If we're lucky, it went. And I believe it did. I'm going to bring this over. Okay. So here's her email. It's amazing. It went immediately. That's great. So now here's her signature request, your signature requested, single file, all. Notice it says all forms. I changed it. So I'm going to click. She clicks on that. Remember, this is the client. She clicks on it. Here's a signing invitation. Okay, so I click start signing. Or she clicks start signing. Now here's an acknowledgement. When she clicks I accept, that means she says she's read these things and she understands that this is a legal binding document. Okay, it's she can't call you later and say I didn't understand. I thought I was just clicking on stuff and all that. No, so make sure that they understand what this is all about. And they can click I accept. And here's the form. Now she can scroll through the form, read it through, see what's going on here. And if she sees anything wrong, she can't do anything with it, but she can make a note of it and let you know that something's going on. You can revise it if you want to, whatever. She can click on the start button up here, and it'll take her directly to the very first signature. So here it is, seller's signature, right? And there's the date. So what does she do to sign it? She clicks it. And it immediately goes on to the next thing. Let me roll back up here. So there's her signature. Okay, there it is. Now, the first time they ever get a signing, it's going to pop up something, and this I've used before, so if she doesn't have it, but it'll ask them certain things. First of all, it'll give them different choices for the signature font. So if she doesn't like this particular font, she can choose another one. It also gives her the option to write the signature herself. Some people might feel more comfortable if the signature actually looked like their real signature, and they can actually sit there and good luck with the mouse, try and make their own signature. It's possible. Hopefully they won't get hung up on that. But notice that there's her signature, there's the date. The next thing she's supposed to do is fill this in. So she can fill that in and then go next. And here's another signature for her. Notice, remember I put a signature in for myself? She doesn't see that. She doesn't have to. It has nothing to do with her. So she clicks on here and she signed it. It brings her back to here. Yeah, it brings her back to the top. So she's at the top now. Let me see what's going on here. Oh, I missed this one. Hold on. There we go. I blew by one of them. So now we're almost done. And all she has to do is hit complete signing. If she doesn't, if she X's out, it gives her a chance to go through and look at other things. But she's all set. She hits complete signing and she's all done. Now it asks her, here's the feedback, right? Tell us about your signing experience. Was it easy? Did you like it? Okay. And then type some feedback if she has any comments. This is not for you, the agent, necessarily. This isn't where she'd say, oh, I found this wrong, I found that wrong on the form, this and that. This is not where she'd do that. But if she has any suggestions on how to improve the overall experience or whatever, she can put it in there. And this is generally, it's for Lone Wolf, really. I'm not going to do it. I don't want to skew things, So I'm just simply going to close this. Yeah. And now I'm going to move this screen out of the way here. And here it shows signings, right? There it is. It says sent. Click on it. There's the signings. And now you can see that authenticated, she signed it. All right, so she signed it and it's been authenticated and approved. Her signature is all set. Okay, I haven't signed it yet. So I would have to go into my email and do exactly the same thing that I showed you with her, and then mine is authenticated and approved. Once I do that, then this form, this document is done. It's signed, it's authenticated, and there will be a locked PDF generated of the final form, the final signatures, and I'll get a copy and she'll get a copy too. So everybody involved in the signings will get a copy of the final forms that have been signed. So she doesn't have to worry about printing out her own copy or anything like that. She'll get it at the end. Okay, so there you have this information here. You're all set. Now, if someone did not sign it and they call you and say, oh gosh, I can't find that email, I can't find it, how do I sign it, I can't find it, resend to unsigned participants. It doesn't affect anybody else at all. You can resend it back out. Okay, so, and the sent here means that it was sent. Once everybody has signed it, it'll be complete right in here. Okay, so there you are with that. Okay, so that's how it's going to work going forward. And now I'll click on the transaction, and there we are. I didn't check off anything on a checklist, so it says 0, but that's it. There you are. There's the new Authentisign. Now, I didn't go through every single detail, neither on Transaction Desk nor in Authentisign. It took this long just to go over this basics here. But what you've got now gets you going. You can actually, enough now, you have enough information now to start doing these transactions and these signings. I'd suggest that you poke around, you start looking into it for more details, more things you can do with it, greater power you can have. But this is basically what you need. And that ends the webinar. That completes the webinar. Thank you for attending. We appreciate it. We hope you got a lot out of it. And someday when we can do live classes in person, I hope to see you there. And I'm going to, and again, thank you and goodbye.